Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today's Mystic Minute is part 3 on we don't have to break out of the matrix. Last week I did a talk at Ignite Seattle on yes, we're living in a simulation, but we're not just avatars. And the point was based on Elon Musk saying that we are most definitely living in a simulation, and he's working on how to break out of it. And my point is that we don't need to break out of it. The perspective that he and Neil deGrasse Tyson and lots of physicists and cosmologists and even philosophers around the world are coming from, as if they are the player in the game, if they are the avatar in this game. And really, we aren't just the avatar, but we are the consciousness creating all of this. That means we don't need to break out of it because we're in it and we're out of it simultaneously. And even when you get into consciousness studies, it still seems like there's not acknowledging consciousness as the greater aspect of who you are. Consciousness exists both in physical form and outside simultaneously. There's only a small aspect of comprehension when you're in physical form, because it's kind of a dense, tiny environment, and our bodies are feeling things from past to future. Our bodies are feeling the density and the limitations. Our bodies are communicating with emotions, so there's lots of feelings that kind of distorts the thoughts. Our minds are viewing it through emotion-induced memories and pictures and concepts. So there's a lot of stuff in here that can make it really challenging as consciousness to come in and navigate. But consciousness is enjoying that. Consciousness creates this. You are consciousness creating this. So where the shift in awareness can come is when you identify as consciousness in the world. It totally reorganizes your experience of life. When you begin to realize, I am greater consciousness and I am creating reality. So it's not just I can create my reality, which is kind of the law of attraction, thoughts become things, you create your own reality, which still can get influenced by other people. When you realize you are consciousness creating reality and experiencing it through the particular body personality that you're sitting in right now, it still shifts your experience of it. For one thing, there's this tremendous love and appreciation that happens because, we love our creations. If you've ever had a fish tank, or if you've ever had a garden, or even if you've had a puppy, kind of when you have a baby, it's like, ooh, I love this thing that I made, and I love this environment that I've got it in, and I love my nest or my home or whatever I'm creating. I just love all this. And, you love the baby or the puppy or the fish tank when it poops and messes and you have to clean it out. You love all that aspect of it. You love your life even if it's messy. You love your body personality for all its quirks and foibles. It's not supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to be physical reality. It's supposed to be a human body. That's why we created all of this. We're enjoying the opposite of what consciousness is. So consciousness is immense, expansive, outside of time and space, timeless. It's all knowingness. I call it the cosmic internet. There's immense love and immense neutrality. And when you start to identify as consciousness, you get to have all this awareness as you are operating in form. It's like having a bigger picture of your life. I don't know if you've ever gone from driving, your little tiny Chevrolet Geo or Toyota Matrix or whatever you're driving, and then going into an SUV. You've got a bigger perspective of the road, So when you get to have a greater perspective of consciousness as you're navigating life, it gives you a bigger picture of what your individual experience is. So that alone changes your choices and your actions and your interactions with other people, because you have this immense appreciation. But wait, there's more. So the other thing that happens when you start to actually navigate life with this greater awareness is the denser structures of your life start to disintegrate and go away, which can feel like a breaking down of things, but it also can feel like a tremendous release, because all the things that were restricting you are breaking down as well. There's very subtle feelings associated with us. There's this kind of woo, kind of, I had somebody think that they had vertigo, and really it was this feeling of consciousness where the more rigid structures of reality are breaking down. The resistance to reality is breaking down. And time and space becomes more malleable. Suddenly it takes you 10 minutes to get somewhere when it used to take you 45. It makes no sense. Strange, outside of the box things start to happen. And this is actually happening to all of us, whether or not we're playing on the avatar level, or we're playing on the thought mind level, or we're being more conscious playing on the consciousness level. You can just see what's happening in the world today, and outside of the box things are happening. We are doing things we never thought possible before. Storylines shift reality on the turn of a dime. There's instantaneous changes in the world. You wake up and what else is going on in the news today? It's crazy making, exhilarating, and a really fun game. So the other thing about this level is it's like Bizarro World, but it's also like Opposite World. You know, here we are feeling as an avatar completely out of control, and then on the level of the mind you feel like you have some control, and then at this level the issue of control is a non-issue because you're creating all of this. So you don't need to kind of change, fix, or manipulate anything. You just need to enjoy it. And so it's like the ultimate in non-control, but also non-resistance. For me, it's been this unfolding and certainty about the environment being benevolent. I could say it's a benevolent universe. It's in a benevolent environment that I, as consciousness, have created. And I can feel this tremendous compassion for the world, for my world that I've created, for all the infinite beings, sentient beings of all shapes and sizes that show up in it. And it's like operating at the highest level of non-resistance. Because when you don't resist the negative stuff, it passes right through. And there's this tremendous sense of just welcoming the next experience. As you're in the process of moving into this experience, it can be a little scary because things you've identified with start to go away. Your body thinks it's going to die because you feel like you're moving into this experience of non-definition, of no need to predict the future because it's all kind of happening randomly. But it doesn't mean that the world is going to end or your body's going to end. I think a lot of people have placed, misinterpretations on things like the rapture and stuff as being like end of the world kind of things, where it's really end of resistance, end of the density aspect of the world, and opening up to a whole new way of playing in reality without playing in the density. And that's what we're all moving towards. And yes, you see lots of people with lots of different storylines. You see people exiting the storyline. Oh, that's tragic and painful. They've exited the physical storyline. And what I've come to realize is they've just got out of the pool because their swim time was over. And as consciousness, we all continue to exist as consciousness. So there isn't any death. There isn't any concern about getting out of the pool or not getting out of the pool. It's all just existence and experiencing this physical reality, which is a very fun and delicious place to be. I mean, man, you know, there's chocolate, there's sunshine, there's the beach, there's hot baths, there's lots of things to enjoy. There's sex, there's lots of different kind of bodies to interact with, there's lots of ways to express love. There's all these fun sentient beings, whether they're plants or animals or rocks or anything like that. There's just a lot of fun. It's a playground. It's a playground in density and effort. So I invite you not to resist the transformation that's happening, because it's a whole lot more fun on the other side. So if you like these videos, you can subscribe to them on YouTube. You can also sign up below to get them in your inbox. If you want to know more, my website is joan-newcomb.com. I put out a weekly radio show and podcast. I also put out a weekly blog and newsletter. I do meetups in the Puget Sound around Seattle, Bellevue, Tacoma University Place, and Vashon Island. I do monthly webinars, and I coach people from around the world on Skype or Zoom or by the phone, and how to navigate your life from this greater awareness of consciousness and have outside the box results beyond what you could possibly imagine. So if you want to know more, go to my website, joan-newcomb.com, and I'll see you in another week with another Mystic Minute.